This is where you develop who you are. Where you say, damn, I really am the Hello mystical light beings, and welcome to a Lena Mystic video. Today's video is about what you've been waiting on. I tried to do this video a little bit earlier, but my daughter woke up, so I was trying to put her back to sleep and she was just screaming. Thankfully my husband came and got her so I could do this video. We're gonna go ahead and go through these cards that I already picked out and I already read for you guys, and then we're gonna pick some more cards. Let's start. So the first one we got was receptivity. And a lot of this has to do with how open are our channels for us to receive messages from the source, from our guides. And this was the other card that came out with it. This is the source. So how connected are we to receive a message, to be open to hearing the message that we're receiving as well? That's a big one. Sometimes we hear messages from spirit that we actually did not want to receive, like this is not what I had in mind, and then we're reminded that spirit actually has something better planned for us and wants us to enjoy the journey rather than just trying to hop skip a beat, you know. Spirit is trying to remind us that this is a journey, and every single component that we are living in, every single moment that we're living in has a large purpose. This is the story that we're going to tell people when we reach that goal. This is all a part of the master plan. And sometimes we want things so quickly that we forget that this journey is exactly the important thing that helps us obtain it. Not only obtain it, but secure it, keep it, create a legacy with it. So everything that you're doing right now is leading up to being able to sustain something so incredibly beautiful. And source is trying to give us messages, but if we're not open to receiving them with receptivity, then we are prolonging the journey. In a sense, we're prolonging the process. And it's not that the process needs to be sped up, but you can kind of make it harder on yourself if you are channeling a certain energy. Like let's say you're just channeling a lot of down energy, a lot of heavy energy, and it's going to make it harder for you to get there because now your manifestation is prolonging the process. And that's not to say that you need to be always happy-go-lucky all the time, but it's more so about trying to remember that the process is a part of this goal that you're trying to obtain, a part of whatever you've been waiting for. So when you feel overwhelmed, anxious, when you feel down, pull back your energy, pull back your power, and have more fun in the process. Find a way to have more fun in the process. The Outsider came out as well, and this is just a very childlike card. It reminds me of the Hermit, but it also reminds me of just gathering together, like the Six of Cups, the Six of Wands, Three of Cups type of energy. And this I find super beautiful because when you channel childlike energy, you are more open-minded. Through the process, you're having more fun. Like children, they just want to explore everything fun for them. And this is kind of what that gateway is for you, to explore everything fun, to explore new talents, to explore new gifts and abilities that you have. These gifts and abilities are exactly what gets you there. So if you're not processing or counting on or progressing or even developing these gifts and abilities, how are you going to sustain this thing that you want? This whole process is for legacy purposes. You are trying to, your goal is for long term, and it is going to create some type of DNA wealth, some type of generational wealth in health and progression. It's changing your bloodline, it's changing your friendships, it's changing your relationships in the future. And through this, we are going through certain challenges, or we're going through certain tasks and tests so that we can strengthen our capabilities, strengthen our abilities to do things to sustain whatever we're trying to develop. If you guys are following me, I would love to see a butterfly in the comment section below. Please comment one. Let me know if you feel what I'm saying, okay? Let me know if you feel what I'm saying. And let me know if you've been getting any signs as well. A lot of you guys are probably seeing pretty awesome spirit animals. Let me know which ones you're seeing. You can just put an emoji of it down below, or if it's so rare, you can go ahead and comment what it is, and I'll write an article and do a video on it. Compromise. Okay, so being asked to compromise on a journey is much more beautiful than people think it is. It's a little bit hard to compromise in a situation where you're asking this, but obviously Spirit is asking you to listen to something that it has in mind for you. So try to really listen to whatever Spirit has in mind for you, and these little tasks that Spirit has you doing, try to tune into those tasks so that you can do your part as well. I'm loving this card because it's a reminder that we have our part to play too. When we ask Spirit for certain things, sometimes there's a lot more work that we have to do to obtain it. And that's basically what Spirit is saying. It's saying, okay, we have some work to do before we get there. And you've done a lot of work, and I've seen the work that you've done. But each level, each part of this process creates a bigger sustainable goal, a bigger sustainable gift. And the more work you're doing during this process, the longer it'll be able to last. And if you want it to last for your children, if you want it to last for the rest of your life, if you want it to last for your next lifetime, then there's some work that has to be done so that you learn everything it takes to keep and build what you want. Some of you guys are trying to heal relationships, and you may have like some past life challenges where you're dealing with some of the same karmic lessons from your past life. Some of you may just be dealing with some of the lessons that you're learning currently right now in this life, and you're trying to develop better relationships because maybe you push people away. Maybe you don't really let people see you. Maybe you love the fact that you can say, oh, you don't really know me. Like, do you really want people to know you? Because it sounds like you want people to know you, but then you think it's a prize for people not to know what you're gonna do next. Like, you always want to throw people off. So really assess where your mindset is right now and what you do want, and if you're combating that in your own life, because a lot of people will blame other people for not adding to a certain part of them, but then they don't realize that they're actually the one that's portraying that message. They're actually the one that's not letting people in, or not letting people help them, or not letting people advise them. So how and what ways are you getting in your own way? And I just picked up some Jane Austen cards. I found them at Goodwill, and I was pretty hyped about finding them. So let's go ahead and connect to the deck so we can get a clear message of the direction we're going in. I'm seeing a lot of circles for you guys. I don't know if you guys are seeing flutters in your eyes, sparkles, shapes, colors, geometric shapes. Those of you that are, you're receiving very clear signs and clear messages from the spiritual realm. So listen to those messages that you're receiving. Okay, so we've got King of Hearts, which is basically King of Cups. So we're tapping a lot into our emotions, and your spirit is asking you to be comfortable with this emotional experience. You're going through a lot of emotions, and you're not typically one to sit in emotions. You are the type of person that wants to witness it, like see it, observe it, and then get out of it. But right now you're actually being asked to get into those emotions that you're feeling, really immerse yourself into it. So because this is triggering a spiritual awakening, is triggering. And what is a spiritual awakening? Spiritual awakening is when you're becoming more open to understanding yourself, where you're digging so deep into the darkness. When darkness is not always ugly, I will add that. It can be ugly, but it's not always ugly. Sometimes the darkness is just something that you didn't know about yourself. And some of us can go through that spiritual awakening and be kind of easy. Some spiritual awakenings are very challenging. Some last for a couple of weeks. Some last for a few years. It depends on how long it takes for you to actually let yourself fall so that you can fly, is how I see it. So with the King of Cups, this is saying, experience what you're experiencing. If you're telling yourself you've forgiven something, or you've let go of something, the way you were treated by a job, the way you were treated by a person, the way you were treated by an opportunity, whatever the case is, some of you guys are kind of saying that you've let that go and you're willing to move past it, but you actually have some stagnant energy there, and it's a resentment towards someone or something. and you really just want to prove something right now. So if you're focusing on proving something, that's a really great time for you to dig back into yourself and say, why do I feel like I need to prove anything to this person, those people, when the only person I need to prove to is myself? And if you feel like this is something that you're trying to prove to yourself, assess if you're also trying to prove something to someone else too. That's what I'm getting with the King of Cups. It's saying dig into your emotions, dig into the root of why you're doing this, what this is for, so that you can actually attract whatever it is that actually matches you, your heart, and what you feel you need in your life and what spirit feels you need in your life as well. This card is beautiful. It's beautiful. You're growing something right now, and spirit is here for it, but spirit also wants you to dive even deeper with what you want to do with it. What does this add to you? What is this adding to you is what I'm hearing. What is this going to do for you is what I'm hearing. And your emotions can be one way to be led to understanding that. Those of you who are dealing with some type of forgiveness that you haven't fully processed, fully gone through, I'm seeing the color pink, you're healing the heart chakra. So this does feel like you've been let down by something and you're really trying to prove something now in this instance. And if you're trying to do that, ask yourself, are you taking more away from your heart or are you adding to it? Okay, that's a good question. Are you taking more from your heart or adding to it when you are giving attention to this area, when you're giving attention to this opportunity, when you're giving attention to this person, when you're giving this attention to this side of you is also what I'm hearing. It is a really good time to figure out what is it that you're trying to heal. And with this card coming out earlier, the outsider, it feels like there's some type of past thing you're trying to figure out. Like, it really feels like you feel like you can't get on the other side of something. You see the lock on here. It's like you're on a quest. You're basically on a quest, and it's starting to get really frustrating because you feel like, okay, I've been on this quest for a long time. I've been trying to figure out where's the key, and why can't I get in, and what am I willing to do to get in? And it feels like you can kind of compromise yourself sometimes, what your truth is and how you actually see things for this person, for this place, for this thing. And spirit is asking you to be so yourself, be so immersed in knowing who you are, that this thing doesn't change you, that this person doesn't change you, that you are stabilizing your energy, that you know who you are. You have to know who you are is what I'm hearing. Know who you are so it doesn't change you, and so that you can sustain this. Because if you aren't authentic, it won't last is what I'm hearing. It's not gonna be lasting if you're not authentic. Know who you are no matter where you're at is what I'm hearing. You're used to being a chameleon. You're used to changing depending on what environment you're in, and while that can be a talent, if you lose yourself while blending in, then it's not going to mean much to you in the long run. It's not going to be sustainable because you're still going to have that emptiness inside. So spirit is saying, this is where you're finding out who you are. This is what you're figuring out, what isn't worth it and what is worth it, while you're in the process of your goal, while you're in the process of living out that goal, living in that relationship, living in that connection, living in that job, living in that opportunity. If you can find who you are here, then you will always know who you are, is what I'm hearing. So in this place that you are right now, and if you can figure out who you are, you will not lose anything where you're going. And I actually, like, as I'm listening to the message, I'm finding it to be very beautiful. It's almost like you're building roots right now, and the outside, like, the leaves and stuff aren't growing. Like, imagine this plant, and it's just sitting here, and it looks dead, but it's actually growing the strength that it needs to develop strong roots so that if all of this is chopped off, it can grow back. Wow. Yeah, it's literally like looking at roots and no foliage, I think it's called. Foliage is the word that I'm hearing. There's no foliage yet. It's not as beautiful as you want it to look yet. But it is so much more beautiful than you think, because without the roots, that foliage means nothing. That foliage doesn't last. So that must be why I'm seeing foliage, that the leaves, it's just branches, and the branches are even not really there. They're not fully developed yet, but the roots, which is the most important part, if you think about it, the roots must grow before anything else grows. So right now you're building your roots. You're building the roots, you're watering them. And right now you're being asked to water them. Water your talents. Water what nurtures you. Water what makes you feel good. Once you do that, the foliage begins to grow and it starts to show and the colors start coming in. And the butterflies start getting attracted. The bees start being attracted. The abundance, the transformation. Okay? The message is starting to come together. Everything that you're asking for, you are in the prime time right now. This is actually the prime time, whether you realize it or not. This is where you find yourself. This is where you develop who you are. Where you say, damn, I really am this. Okay? And if you're not feeling that yet, it's because you feel this person, this thing, this whatever it is going to make you who you are. But you make you who you are. You are the it. You're it. So when you start genuinely feeling that, and I'm not just talking about in a day or in a week, but you start feeling that for a while and you know who you are, your guides can start helping you more with what you're looking for, because what you're looking for is long term. But if what you're looking for is already you, that's long term. If you're getting what I'm saying, I don't know if you guys are following me. If you're following me, please put a plant or a tree in the comment section below so that I can know how far you made it in this message, and that you understand where your growth is coming from, that you understand that you are what you're looking for, and in that way you start attracting the other things that you're looking for as well. I'm seeing angel number 1, 2, 1 and 2, 12. I'm seeing 1, 2, 2, 4, 5. Okay, big positive changes coming for you with angel number 5, and the 1s and the 2s. The 1 is saying something definitely is changing for you, and this is shaking your foundation. It's giving kind of like a tower moment. But let me tell you, I see the tower card as a card that shows you a depiction of this foundation that you used to have is breaking down. It's being like a bulldozer is coming in, it's breaking it down. And while you're falling, you're actually learning to fly. You're feeling like, oh, but it's also a surrender. Like, there's nothing I can do but fall here. This foundation is gone. All I can do is fall. In other words, all I can do is find myself. But to find myself, I have to let go of what I believe in. I have to let go of what I thought things should look like, because I'm thinking too small. And this foundation is actually not really foundational. It's weak. And these old beliefs that I had do not serve me any longer. So while you're falling off of this tower, you're learning to fly. Your instincts are kicking in. You're learning how to find out what your different talents and capabilities and abilities are. You're learning how powerful you are in a difficult circumstance. You're learning your strengths right now, and you're learning how to turn your weaknesses into a strength, and how to focus more on what you can do rather than what you can't. You are building your instincts right now, and you're building. It's as simple as that. You are building. Wow. I really like this message. All right, look at this. This is basically saying that you're putting on different hats, but these different hats are already hats that you have. In other words, these are already talents that you have, and you're not basically becoming a chameleon. You're becoming yourself. These are different things you can pull from yourself that you have, and you're not doing it for anyone else per se. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it because it fulfills you. It does something for you. It speaks to your spirit, and it it challenges you in a healthy way. You're being challenged in a healthy way. My nose is starting to tickle. I swear every time I'm doing readings, it starts to tickle. I don't know if like the currents running through me is causing like a lot of electricity and stuff, but everything just starts to tickle my face, like everything. I start getting goosebumps. So you're putting on different hats, and these different hats are serving you in a great purpose. You are strengthening your different talents. You are strengthening every single part of yourself. And it feels to you right now like you're losing a lot, like you're just at a loss. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you're going. You're reaching a new milestone, but it doesn't feel fulfilling enough. And Spirit is saying, hey, take a breath. Look in the mirror. What do you see? Because it's deeper than, we're not just talking about physical, obviously. We're talking about what do you see energetically? What is there? And why can't you see how magical it is beyond what someone else can give you? You have learned in your life to look elsewhere for things when everything that you need, Source has given you within yourself, because you are also a creator. So once you realize how powerful you are, you literally create your life. And it's gonna be beautiful. It already is, but you will start to see how beautiful it actually is. This is a beautiful message, guys. So what you've been waiting on, it's already here. You just have to channel it. You have to focus. You have to get into that hermit mode where you can build your energy. It's like going to Hogwarts. You're going to Hogwarts and you're trying to develop your magical skills and abilities so that you can be the magical being you're supposed to be. So study a little. Study yourself. Who am I? What do I like to do? And how can I use this to get what I want? What are my strengths? What are my magical strengths? What are my creating strengths? What have I done that seemed impossible but never really was? And do I feel this is actually impossible? Because if I do, maybe I need to challenge myself to do something that I thought was impossible that I can actually do, so that I can see, or I need to recall things that I did that were impossible that I actually did, and complete it and obtain, and remind myself how much of a bad ASS I am. So just know, you're a lot more magical than you think you are. And you can create exactly what you want. And it can be very frustrating in the process, but everything you're learning right now is going to be used to sustain what you're doing. And that should be rewarding for you. That should feel really good. So thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed doing this video, and I do hope it helps you feel great on your journey and know that you are going to get where you're trying to go. I'm seeing bamboo for you as well, which is a really strong plant too. And I think that that shows how strong you are and how foundational that this goal that you're trying to reach, how it really will impact your life and how strong it's going to be because of the work you're doing right now. So know that every part of the process is huge. Every part of the process is important and imperative to develop what you're trying to develop right now. I love you guys. I'll see you in another video. Let me know if you like this one. Please share it with someone that may need this message to uplift them. And love you. Bye.